Hello! And since I have nothing to review, so it is time to talk about a camcorder versus a phone camera. What is the best camera for YouTube? Well, you guessed it right, the title of this video has said it already. So right now I'm going to talk about what is the best camera for your YouTube production, like what I'm doing right now. And without any further ado, let's get this video started, boys. And that was an unnecessary transition that I was done. But anyways, so first of all, before we talk about the camera comparisons here, so I'm going to take you a talk about what is a camcorder, the first of all. So, and I think you guys might have heard of this thing back in like 12 or 13 years ago, and what it makes a difference between the modern day DSLR, a mirrorless, or even the smartphones that you're holding in your hands. So, let me tell you all about the camcorder in a nutshell. And just like I said in a few seconds earlier, so what is a camcorder? That's the question that I asked you all about. So I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. So, I mean the part, I think. So, whatever. So a camcorder is a self-contained portable electronic device with video and recording as primary function. It's typically equipped with an actuating screen on the left side and the hand strap on the right side, and the hot swappable media and hot swappable all of that stuff.
And it even swaps the batteries too, not just the SD cards, but also the battery.
Which is internally equipped with a wide optical zoom lens, like my camcorder that I'm using to record this video right now. My boy right here. The earliest ones were tape-based, recording analog signals onto video tape cassettes. In 2006, digital recording became a norm. The tape replaced by storage media such as the mini HD, micro DVD, internal flash memory, and SD cards like mine right here that we're using to record this. And the video cameras were originally designed for television broadcasts. They were large and heavy mounts and special pedestals and wired to remote recorders in separate rooms. Well, it's actually what it was supposed to be, but well, as the technology improved, the all studio video recording was possible with compact video cameras and portable video cameras. Well, I mean recorders. A detachable recording unit can be carried onto a shooting location, although the camera itself, well, was compact, and the need for a separate recorder made on location shooting a two-person job. A specialized video cassette recorders were introduced by JVC and Sony. Well, they made Betamax, you know. So, and if you guys know what Betamax is, so I'm just not going to talk about it, but well, so for some of you guys that you never seen the Betamax, so I'm just going to put a picture right here to see what the Betamax camcorder would look like. And well, as well as the tape too. Boom! Just like that. And well, the specialized video cassette recorders were introduced by JVC and Sony, which they have Betamax and Humidic, all that nonsense stuff, releasing a model for mobile work. Well, like a first ever model of Sony Handycam from 1985, which they actually used like high-8 tapes or something like that, which they're actually about the same size as mine, but except it's going to be like square in shape. Well, but that was the first era of the palm recorders, and portable recorders meant to record the footage that could be aired on early evening news, since it was no longer necessary to deploy film. So no more Super 8 films to process. But except for if you are going to use a film camera or Super 8 camera, well, it's up to you now. And alright, so I'm going to talk about what my camcorder was used to be right here. So, and well, my camcorder right here that I'm using to record this right now is a Sony Handycam HD RPG30E, which it has like a projector on the back of the screen or something, which, well, this thing right here, it has a unique feature. And just like I said, it has a projector on the back side of the LCD, which, well, I rarely use it, but I only use it if I really want to take a look at the footage on the large screen or on anywhere I go, like a little portable TV on the camcorder. And well, And speaking of my video quality right here that I'm using right now, so I'm using a 1080p video recording at 25 frames per second, and as well as the 50i, which, well, uses an interlacing quality. And so, my Sony Candycam HDR-PJ30E has a maximum video quality of 1920 by 1080 at 50 frames per second, and the standard 4040 by 1080 at 25 frames per second, or 50i actually, as the lowest quality that you can get. And well, it is actually an LP video quality, and you can actually choose whether you're going to use LP or the standard quality, which it mostly depends on your use. So, which is quite a bit confusing. So I'm gonna say that it has a 1080p video recording, and the video from this camcorder right here, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad compared to some of the compact cameras from the same era, like a Cybershot or this PowerShot right here, this one for example. So, and this is a B-roll camera right here that I'm going to show to you all. So for the photo quality right here, which they are the best, but it's okay for a camcorder like this. But since, well, back in time, the camcorders doesn't have much as high quality as what it is now. And the camcorder has an anti-station, which you can turn that on if you want to get more of like juicy, stabilized footage to it. And well, it does work, but it mostly depends on what you're holding on a hand. Like you have like a shaky hands, this is gonna stabilize for you. And so, does it work in terms of YouTube making? Well, let me say it does, but it was a pass. Back then, when I first started this YouTube channel right here, I used this Sony camcorder right here to record the first ever episode of my review series. Which, well, guess what the first episode is? Well, I'm not going to spoil what it looks like, so I'm just going to put the links in the description if you want to know. And back then, I don't even know how to do a proper scripting, and the all I did was I was thinking of anything that I could think in my head, and then, well, just do it like a newbie YouTuber. And well, let me say that I was a little kid back then. Oh well, this is going to be off topic, so come back! So I'm gonna say it does. It depends on the era, the taste you like, or if you really want to use the camcorder to record your bits, that's okay. So it's really okay. Okay, so after I've done so many talks about the camcorder, and right now it's time to talk about the camera phone. So what is it? Many of you guys have known this already, and to the newer generations that are watching this video right now, I'm going to explain on what really is the camera phone. And for the others, well, you can skip this part of the video here if you really want to skip to the certain parts of the video. But since I'm going to talk about what the camera phone really is, so, and if you want to listen to this part right here, so it's feel free. So, and if you want to skip this part of the video to get the hell out of here, so you can skip to the certain part of the video if you really want to. So, and for those who have come this far right here, so I'm going to talk about what really is the camera phone. So, here we go. So I'm going to take into the theorem here of what really is a camera phone. So first of all, a camera phone is a type of mobile phone which is able to capture photographs and often video recording using 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or even more built-in cameras. And it can also send the resulting image wirelessly and conveniently, which that's a plus of the smartphone cameras these days. And the most of the camera phones are smaller and simpler, which they have like, well, you know, only one lens and that's it. They're pretty much simply attend on the separate digital cameras. And in the smartphone era, the steady sales increase on the camera phones have caused the point-and-shoot camera sales to peak in 2010 or about 2010 according to the Wikipedia that I researched for, and got declined thereafter. You were most extinct, but especially the point-and-shoot cameras and the camcorders like what I'm using right now. And the concurrent improvement of smartphone camera technology and its other multifunctional benefits have led to gradually replacing the compact point-and-shoot cameras as well as replacing some of the modern-day DSLRs, the mirrorless, or even the camcorder that I'm using to record this video right now. And the most of the modern smartphone cameras have only a manual choice to get the camera to work, like my fake 1.6T right here for example, which I do have a camera turner right now, and as you can see here, here's what it looks like for the camera interface, and as well as the app right there to turn on or toggle the camera on. So, and well, I'm really sorry for showing my picture of girlfriend. So I'm going to show it to you here what it looks like. And on this Fake 1.60 right here, you got 3 multiple choices for your shutter button, which you got an on-screen one right there, you got a fingerprint scanner if you have one, or even you can use a white button to take a picture too. And see, it takes a photo. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and there it is, my camcorder right there. And even inside the smartphone cameras that you only got 2 choice for your shutter button, which you got a white button and on-screen one. And inside the smartphone cameras that it has a dedicated or separate shutter button. For example, right here, for instance, a Sony Xperia X-Lite1, which it has a dedicated separate camera button right there for quickness and convenience shooting. And where you can also use the same button as a video recording too, so you can actually record your video on your shutter button right here, or else you can actually go to use the basic features like the on-screen one or the volume button. And once again, this is a Sony Xperia X-Lite1 released in 2017. It can take 23 megapixel stills and video at 1080p at a standard frame rate. The video quality is a standard 1080p like what you would going to expect from the smartphones. And you can also save the video quality all the way down to 144p, or known as the MS video recording, although it's kind of limited to 10 seconds of video recording in lowest quality as possible. And otherwise, you got VGA 720p and 1080p as well. And no 240p unfortunately. And although the video is in standard quality, the video itself doesn't look too bad. But although they look the best in terms of video recording, and compared to some of the other smartphone camera brands like Samsung, the Realme, Infinix, or some of the popular smartphone brands that you have, this thing right here is actually almost at the standard. So although it can take a photo up to 23 megapixels, which, well, the quality, I don't know if it's actually any tempered or not. So, but I think for what I'm seeing right now, it is, well, the sensor has got like 12 or 13 megapixels on there, but they look really sharp to be honest. But although I don't know if the quality is actually any interpolated or not, the quality they look pretty sharp in terms of about the still images. And it's even got the digital zoom, which except for a pixelated zoom crop on your phone, which is something that you might going to expect from a typical smartphone that has a digital zoom. And they also advertised that it's a 5 times clear image zoom, which that was just an advertisement back then. And it also has some features that is similar to the high-end smartphones, like you got a manual mode right here for instance. And the back camera has a wide-angle lens that you wouldn't even need to supply your own wide lens at all, because you got a built-in wide-angle lens for the back camera, and the front camera it is a bit wider than the back camera as intended for taking selfies. And both the back and front camera has an autofocus, one for face detection and the one for a normal autofocus, which I didn't know that fact, but until I was messing around with this camera right here, which I did actually notice that when I try to focus something really close to the front camera and it's just focus and it doesn't want to focus. So the front camera has an autofocus, and both of them have an image stabilization. They are not the best at it, but at least is usable enough to stabilize the footage. And what Sony calls it a steady shot. And on my camcorder they call it an active steady shot, but this one is just steady shot, a normal steady shot. So, alright, so after taking a talk about the Sony Xperia X-Lite1 and some of the smartphones and the theorem of the camera phone, and right now I'm going to take a comparison showdown with my fighter right here, my camcorder, and my battery on my laptop is going to go down anytime. And right now, without any further ado, I'm going to take you all to the comparison showdown between my camcorder and the same brand as my camcorder, a Sony Xperia X-Lite1. So who would win the comparison showdown here? It mostly depends on you decide. And for this video right here, well, I'm just going to decide for myself. And so y'all, what do you think about this? So feel free to leave a comment down below if you want to. I will. And why any hesitate? Let's get this comparison showdown a fight and a try. Hello, and this is my only mugshot of myself with Xperia X1 recorded everything, and also I just lost my hat. Just kidding, my hat is in the other room, so I forgot to bring that. And here is the audio from the Sony Xperia X1. Here's what it will sound like. And here is the Sony Handycam HDR-PJ30E, the camcorder that I used to film the previous part of the video. And you can see that right now I'm testing a microphone on this thing, and I'm going to speak and talk about nonsense stuff that I really want to. So just to test the microphone on this thing. And well, here's what it will sound like when I try to move onto this left side right here, and including the right side also. And well, actually to be honest, I have this DSLR wide lens on the camcorder right here, which for what it actually makes a difference between the camera test is gonna be the lens. And of course, it doesn't matter, but since the lens right here that I used to mount onto this camcorder right now is the DSLR wide lens that I got from my old DSLR, and right now it's being mounted onto the adapter that I bought from Lazada, which, well, this thing actually came from China. And okay, so too much nonsense now, Ricky. And right now I'm going to cut you all to the conclusions of what I really think or I thought about the camera quality that I've tested and all done. And I'm gonna include the pictures too, so the still photos, I think. And right now, without any further ado, let's cut to the conclusions of what I think about both the Sony Xperia X1 that I've tested and my Sony Handycam HDR-PJ30E, the same brand as my Xperia. Well, and right now I'm sweating. So, you can see. Alright, let's tell the conclusions. Why hesitate? And so, what is your best YouTube camera after the camera comparison showdown? Well, I guess, in my opinion here, I just couldn't decide on what I'm going to use for my YouTube. But fortunately, during the first day on my YouTube channel, I used this camcorder right here to record the first ever episode of the first review series. Which, well, on that video, it was basically me when I was a kid trying to do a review out of anything on a bunch of random stuff. And guess what? That video is actually the first video ever where I actually filmed on this camcorder right here. And I didn't know about the camera that much, maybe just a little bit, cause I don't know. If you want to check my oldest videos on this YouTube channel right here, so you can go check them out in the video section and choose the oldest if you have one. Okay, I'm gonna say that my camcorder right here, it was the only thing that I had back then, and I was using Windows Movie Maker, SS file switching, and my shitty internet from my dad's mobile hotspot to upload and do everything onto this YouTube channel back then. Okay, so I'm gonna say that the camcorder does the best on its own. It's got a 1080p 50i, or it's going to be increment to a 25 frames per second for the standard video quality. And for the best video quality possible that you can get onto this camcorder right here, it is the PS quality, or literally known as a 1080p at 50 frames per second, or what the Sony calls it, a 50p video recording. And I know you all have a better camcorder in mind, like you got 24 megapixel stills, and you got some like a really large amount of optical zoom, and the more stuff that I couldn't film more into this video. And comparing that the footage to my Xperia right here, the same brand as this camcorder, is a bit much better than my camcorder, but except for something else. Yeah, and if you heard that right, it is a croppy zoom lens. Yeah, but my Xperia right here does actually the best on its own. Alas, it does have digital zoom, but not an optical zoom, unfortunately, which is actually what you might going to expect on a smartphone camera. And so if you want a nice crispy image when zooming in, I would prefer a camcorder, or I would recommend you guys get a DSLR or mirrorless if you want a nice crisp image quality when zooming in. And if you didn't think about the video quality or the photo quality that much, you can use a smartphone camera, but since it has a digital zoom. And speaking of Xperia here, the video quality is about the same as my camcorder. It's a standard 30 frames per second, which I don't know if it's actually going to be an requirement to a 29.97 frames per second or something. And which the only thing that I know, it was the 720p, which it doesn't actually have any features about setting a frame rate, which it doesn't even have 60 frames per second setting on this Xperia right here. And of course, my Xperia does have a better video image, and the video image is gonna be different for what I'm using. So if I'm gonna rank on what is the best C2 camera, well, since I couldn't decide what is better, in my opinion here, if it was me, I'm still gonna give that to the camcorder because you got a little bit of video quality, and for the Xperia, well, you can go decide for yourself in the vote in the community post. So, well, go check them out if you want. Okay, so that was really it for this video. My camcorder still wins in terms of YouTubing, although the video quality is slightly better than my Xperia. And yeah, the most of the smartphone cameras had the much better video quality than what it was 10 or 5 years ago. But it mostly depends on what you're going to use for YouTube. And what about y'all? What do you think about this video? You can leave the comments down below if you're interested in it. I will see you guys in the comments down below. And again, that was basically it for this video. And don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and also, the most importantly, which is the most important one. Oops. It is consider subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I do appreciate that. And the exposure is too bright, just know this. So I'm not going to press that anyways. And I will see you guys later in the next video, where I'm going to do more quality content like this for you guys. And once again, I will see you guys later all around the world, where I'm going to do more quality content like this for you guys. And also, this Xperia right here, it has a possible return because, well, I was gonna have a plan that I'm going to buy a maximum SD card that can support on this Xperia right here, which is only 256 gigabytes. Yeah, for the maximum SD card capacity support. And alright, so that was basically it for this video, and we'll see you guys there in the next video. So once again, and alas, for now. But anyways, bye!